Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you had a great weekend, and thanks for joining us again for our daily English news edition. The state Supreme Audit made its annual report today, announcing that there were 8 times as many violations in the public administration during these past 4 years as there were between the period of 2008 to 2011. The chairman of the SSA, Buyar Leskai, announced that the economic damage to the state budget was 125.8 billion lek over the past 4 years. He announced that the focus for 2016 will be on concessions, the public-private partnership, and the public debt. During the analysis today, Leskai reacted to some recent statements by the Minister of Energy, who said that the SSA audit of the Ches company was political in nature. Mr. Leskai announced that the audit revealed embezzlement in the amount of 479 million euro. He has asked the Assembly to set up a commission to verify the amount. Leskai gave assurance that the SSA audits will be immune to political influence and will support the fight against corruption. He also warned that certain lawsuits against officials of the public administration are going to be repeated after the justice reform. The head of the SSA expressed his determination to go through with this, even if it means losing his own position. He said, "The number of lawsuits filed by the SSA has doubled in comparison to the period of 2009 to 2011. We should intensify them even further. I will continue in this manner until the last day of my mandate. Our accusations are based on dereliction of duty and violation of equality in tenders, and they are supported by the Prosecutor General, for which I thank him. We stand by our lawsuits, and we will prepare to repeat all of them. I will do this even if it's the last week of my mandate, especially if I leave before my mandate ends," said Mr. Leskai. The Court of Serious Crimes has sentenced the Italian pilot Giorgio Riformato to 15 years in prison. Riformato was arrested back in May of 2014 when his plane crashed on Divjaka Beach. He was the only one of a group to repeatedly deny all charges of drug trafficking. Riformato claims that he has nothing to do with drugs and that he was forced to land on Divjaka Beach because of a plane malfunction. However, the evidence of the prosecution convinced the court otherwise. The event caused a great deal of debate between the majority and the opposition back in 2014, when the Democrats accused the government of trafficking drugs in connection to this case. And the police seized 340 kilograms of marijuana, which were packed up and waiting to be flown to Italy. They also arrested 3 other men who were found to be the organizers of this enterprise. Among other evidence, Riformato's involvement was proven by their statements. Debates prevail in the Socialist Party today as they approach the possibility of an inter-party election. The majority of the MPs have supported the idea that if the party in governance wins the elections, and if they stay in power, the mandate of the party chairman should be automatically reconfirmed. However, one of Eddie Rama's most outspoken opponents within the party, Mr. Ben Blushi, is not happy at all with this arrangement. Mr. Blushi discussed the lack of elections within the party at today's meeting of the Socialist Parliamentary Group. Later, he made the following statements outside of the party headquarters, announcing his candidacy for the chairmanship. He said, "I will continue to push this debate because we are moving toward a Congress in which the chairman of the party will not be elected. There should be elections every 4 years in a party, but we are now in the 7th year and there are no elections. The reasons are very clear. Eddie Rama does not want his position to be up for election. He did not speak at the meeting. Why should a person who has made so many reforms, a person who thinks he has performed so well, be afraid of an election? The party should gather once every 4 years, but this is not happening. Unfortunately, Rama is stealing the mandate, and I do not agree. I will never agree with that," said Mr. Blushi. Prime Minister Rama had already left the headquarters somewhat earlier, but another MP responded. "Rama has won the election with the reforms he has made," she said. "All the attention has been focused on the reforms. There may be another development within the Socialist Party as well." Earlier, the MP Kokodima had announced that the party's National Assembly will be held in February. However, Mr. Blushi says that he was told in the meeting that the Assembly will not be gathering. The Minister of Justice, Manjani, has given clear signs that he is against some of the proposals for the justice reform. In a meeting he held with a group of law students today, the minister declared that there should be no judges chosen from outside of the justice system. He feels that this would be a dangerous experiment. Minister Manjani supported the idea that the School of Magistrates should accept new students without competition and that the admissions quota should be increased. He also shared the belief that the activities of the police should be separate from those of the prosecution. He considered the establishment of a National Bureau of Investigation to be urgent. In the framework of the justice reform, Manjani says that re-evaluating the current judges and prosecutors is necessary. He gave warning that if any of them do not meet the criteria that is set, they will be excluded from the justice system. Starting today, the price of riding the bus in Tirana has been increased by 10 lek. The City Hall reached an agreement with the Transport Association some weeks ago, and their decision entered into power today. The prices are now 40 lek for individual tickets and 1,600 lek for season tickets. Many of the citizens are unhappy about this increase, and a protest was held today against the new price. The people say that the new price only increases their financial burden, and they have no say in the matter. Many of the citizens have no choice but to use the public transportation, having no other means to get around the city for their daily work and living. The Democratic Party has taken up this cause, submitting a lawsuit to the Administrative Court of Appeals, asking that the law be repealed. On the other side, the Association of Public Transport demands the price increase, claiming that the cost of maintaining their service is driving them toward bankruptcy. The City Hall decided to allow an indexing of the price, but they have begun checks to make sure that the association is upholding their end of the agreement that they reached. Already today, the municipality has fined 18 employees of the city bus system and fired 2. Meanwhile, the association has asked the city to be lenient with traffic penalties for the buses, since there is no infrastructure or traffic signals to accommodate them, and there is heavy traffic. A new bill on the profession of psychology was introduced today at the Law Commission by the Minister of Social Welfare, Klosi. The draft includes the establishment of an order of psychologists intended to maintain high standards in the profession. The bill prohibits unqualified people from practicing psychology, and Minister Klosi believes it will help regulate and increase the quality of the profession. In today's meeting of the Law Commission, the Minister of Culture presented a new bill on copyright. According to Minister Kumbaro, the bill is focused on the rights and protection of the creators of intellectual property. The bill includes establishing a new entity called the National Council of Copyright, which will be responsible for exacting fines on subjects that violate the copyright laws. The law will be accompanied with changes to the criminal code, which will include harsher penalties for offenders. The law was supported in principle by the opposition today, but they will not give their final consent until they have consulted the stakeholders. The new bill was discussed in today's Media Commission as well, where a number of stakeholders gathered for a hearing session. They demanded that the law should include provisions for online copyright, because this is the area in which creators of intellectual property are being damaged the most. That's the end of our edition for this evening. Thanks again for watching, and please join us again at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Have a great evening.